Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday is May the 4th. It is May the 4th be with you. National Star Wars Day. National Weather Observers Day. National Renew Day. National Orange Juice Day. Also National Candied Orange Peel Day. So there's kind of an orange theme going there. It's National Fitness Day, National Scrapbook Day, National Home Brew Day, National Join Hands Day, National Bombshells Day, National Start Seeing Monarchs Day, and Free Comic Book Day. And one last thing on May 4th, it's Bird Day. You know what I always say. Happy birthday to you. That joke never gets old. Okay, that joke was
Speak
old
for yourself.
when I started it. May 5th, Sunday. Cinco de Mayo. Also, National Astronaut Day, National Cartoonist Day, National Silence the Shame Day, Totally Chipotle Day, Hoagie Day, National Infertility Survival Day, and National Lemonade Day. One last thing. I've got a guest joining me today. He's an actor and a former lawyer, Samuel Whitehill. Going to chat with him about his transition from law to movies and TV. It's exciting. I'm going to chat about that coming up later in the program.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A study by Texas A&M analyzed a caveman's feces and determined that he once ate an entire rattlesnake. What? This is what we're doing, Texas A&M? Why in the world were they even studying such a thing?
Who cares?
Like, what did he eat? An entire rattlesnake. So, I don't know exactly what we're going to learn from that, but there you go. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. Tulsa man was arrested on burglary charges after firefighters pulled him out of a chimney. This happened last week, I believe. Police say 23-year-old Keegan Holmes was apparently spending the night wedged in a chimney at an auto center. Sometime between midnight and 1 o'clock, he broke into Floyd & Son's body shop. It's an auto center.
What was he trying to take?
He used power tools to cut wiring at the business before moving down the street and climbing on top of a different Durango business. So I don't know if he was like stealing the copper. I'm not sure. It said he cut the wiring. I don't know what else he would do. Once on top of this other building, he dropped down the chimney, leaving a power saw on the roof. He became stuck and stayed there until employees arrived later in the morning to hear him moaning.
Man.
They pulled him out. He was taken to the hospital and booked in jail. When they found him, he was charged with malicious injury to property, possession of burglary tools, and possession of drug paraphernalia. So he wasn't thinking clearly when he was doing all this. Clearly. Thanks for listening. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Last weekend, there was this movie that went to the theaters. I don't know if you heard of it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Rumblings of a movie.
Avengers Endgame, I think. Anyway, took in $350 million in the domestic box office. And Captain Marvel finished a distant second. By the way, it was $1.2 billion for the global box office.
That's
but
insane.
What we're talking about right now is just the United States box office last weekend. Number one movie, Avengers Endgame, $350 million. Number two, $8 million. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. What was number two?
Number two was Captain Marvel. So there were some people that got to the theater and they're like, I'd like to go to Avengers Endgame. And I said, sorry, that's sold out. And they're like, Dang it. Okay, I'll go to Captain Marvel. So I think that's kind of what happened. The Curse of La Lenora came in third at $7.5 million. Breakthrough, which sounds like an amazing movie. True story of a kid that fell through the ice and then was brought back to life. $6.3 million. Fourth place. That's really cool.
That's really cool on such a big movie weekend.
Huge. And Shazam slipped into fifth place at $5.5 million. There we go. That's big screen, little screen for this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. The United States is now facing its largest outbreak of childhood diseases like measles in 25 years.
I know.
So there are people that are not getting vaccinated. They're like, I have the right to not do that. You do have the right to, but look at how many kids are getting sick now.
Yep.
So unless somebody comes up with a better solution, I think we need to come up with a solution. Americans are tired of celebrating...
Unless somebody comes up with a better solution, I think we need to come up with a solution.
Yes. I thought maybe I'd just roll and pretend like I hadn't just said that. Do you have a better solution? If not, we need a solution. Okay. I don't know. I could be a politician with an answer like that.
You could.
Spinning in circles. But I said it so confidently, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
All right. Americans are tired of celebrating birthdays. It's not because they live in a society obsessed with staying young. According to a survey, the majority of Americans say their birthday feels no different from any other day of the year. And a third of those surveys said that they lack enthusiasm, and it stems from the hassle of planning a party. They're like, I really don't want to have people over. I'm going to have to clean the house. We're going to have to make a cake or get a cake from somewhere, or some sort of cake will be involved.
I love having parties.
Yeah, but a lot of folks are like, oh, man, can we just pretend like this didn't happen? Here's the part I'm going to say. I honestly checked to see if this was possible. If there's a way to have Facebook forget when my birthday is. And it's not because...
You can remove it. You don't have to provide that information.
Is there a way? I couldn't find a way to do that. Can you show me how to do that?
You're the one who entered it, so yes, you can remove it.
But I don't think I can.
It's in your setting. Yes, you can.
Okay, you have to walk me through this. Can you do that for me on the Facebook later today?
Sure.
I feel like an old man. Heidi has to help me quite often. I'm like, how does my phone work? She's older than me, by the way. That doesn't make any sense. But when you have a birthday now with social media... If you've got a bunch of connections on social media, all of a sudden you are bombarded with messages, which is awesome. I understand people are just saying, hey, John, happy birthday. We love you. That's cool. But when you're the one going through, it's like, I want to say thank you to everybody. And I spend my entire day saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really? They don't?
No.
Okay, well then...
You can just like them all if you want, or even just put a blanket thank you at the end of the day. Say thank you so much to everybody who wished me happy birthday.
Well,
it means
now you tell me.
You
should have told me that. You got carpal tunnel over here working on thanking everybody last year. Thanks, Heidi. Burger King announced that it is starting a vegan burger. They have this thing. It's the Impossible Whopper. It's been making such huge success stories in all of the test markets. They're going to roll that out to all of their locations by the end of the year. People say this vegan Whopper is just as tasty as the original Whopper. I think I said that wrong. I said vegan. It's vegan. What is vegan?
Vegan.
The vegan Whopper is just as tasty as the original Whopper, according to the people who are, trying to get you to try it. So I've had other people say, try it. It tastes exactly like chicken. I'm like, kind of tastes like cardboard to me. But cardboard with a chicken flavor, maybe. So I've not tried this, so this may be delicious. I have no clue. A 38-year-old Nashville man is jailed after police say he attacked a Mercedes with a motorized scooter, telling police that he, quote, struck it because it's a Nazi car.
Oh, wow.
And he said, people should buy American. Okay, I agree with you on the, support local. That's awesome. But don't crash your scooter into somebody's car. I mean, he did this repeatedly.
Classy.
I know. I don't get that. Does that make any sense?
No. I wonder where his scooter was made.
I don't know. What are you doing driving this Nazi car? And then one last thing. It's a big weekend. It's Kentucky Derby weekend. And 90% of female spectators will wear derby hats at the Derby this weekend. How much do you suppose one of those hats would cost? The real ones, not a fake one that you buy from some knockoff store. I'll help you. $500 to $1,000.
What do you mean a knockoff hat?
You bought some fake hats because we were going to have a Kentucky Derby party, and then nobody showed up because they didn't want to wear your fake hats.
No, because we never put the event on.
Oh, that's right. That's why. But $500 to $1,000 is what they pay for the real, actual hats. So there you go. Thanks for listening to your Scoop of the Day on the John and Heidi Show.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Thank you so much for listening. We have Samuel Whitehill joining us right now. And here's something that's kind of interesting. Samuel is an actor now. He's been in a bunch of fun movies recently, but he's a former lawyer from Texas via Washington, D.C. Mr. Whitehill, how are you, sir?
Oh, very good, John. How are you doing today?
Very good. That's got to be kind of an unusual thing. Are there a lot of other actors that you work with that are former lawyers, or is that a pretty unique thing?
I'm told that a lot of lawyers become actors and a lot of actors become lawyers. There's a lot of cross-fertilization there, it seems.
I didn't realize that. So I think it's really cool, though, because part of the ability to get up in front of a jury and, talk to them, I suppose that it kind of takes the same kind of guts it would take to stand in front of a camera and deliver lines. So I guess I do see see where those two things kind of do come together.
Yeah, they say that self-consciousness is the enemy of every actor. It's probably the enemy of every courtroom lawyer, too. So you just have to forget that people are looking at you. You just have to express yourself and just be as honest and as natural as possible.
Well, I'm looking at some of the video here. I've had a chance to kind of scroll through, and first of all, I got to say, you've been a very busy guy the last 4 years, haven't you?
Sure have, and I'm at the age of a lot of guys my age are retired and not doing a whole lot, but I'm doing more than I ever did, I think.
And I think that's really neat. And here's one of the things that I think works really well for you. I'm looking at the different characters that you've played in several of these movies. I see in one you were a detective, Detective Reed. Another, you're a police officer. In a forensic scientist in another. And then here's my favorite. You were the President of the United States. So all of these are characters that have some authority. So I think that must be kind of the way you carry yourself. Maybe that helps that you were a former lawyer.
Maybe it is. Maybe it does help. I tend to often play bad guys, too. I've played child molester twice this past year. And one of the films I get murdered early in the film. It's called Wade in the Water. It's coming out this spring, and it's a very good movie. It's got some new names in it who are really, really great actors. And I kind of regret stepping out of the film so early, getting killed in the kitchen, but it happened.
So I think it's interesting.
No, it's perfect.
You play a bad guy in some of the movies. Maybe being an attorney helped you with that, too, I guess.
I think so. I know some bad guy attorneys. I always look at the State Bar's journal when I get it. I'm a member of the Texas Bar, and I always say, who's been disbarred this month?
Again, visiting right now with Samuel Whitehill. He's an actor, but he is former attorney. You've got a bunch of movies, as I'm looking at IMDb, a lot of things in post-production and things that are coming soon. But one of the movies that we talked a little bit about where you played the president, President James Mitchell is your character in Somerset, and that's kind of coming soon, is that right?
That's right. I hope it comes out in the next month or so. I'm in communication with the filmmaker. He's doing a lot of editing, re-editing, color correction. That's a lot of work done on the film after the filming process takes place. But in that one, it's a science fiction drama. There's a space vehicle hovering over a city on the west coast called Somerset. While at the same time, there's an attempted coup d'etat of the United States. Some of the people in my cabinet are not as loyal as they should be. So there's a lot of things going on. It's also a message. It's a message film as well. Andre Coleman's an African-American filmmaker, and there's an African-American element in this movie. So it's three movies in one, actually.
That's really cool. It sounds like a fun movie, and we're going to be looking for that. It's called Somerset. I'll throw a link in our show notes to help folks find the information on that, so when it does come out, they'll be able to watch that. And I'm looking at some of the others. Some of the titles are even really fun. Like, this is one of the short films that you're in that's coming soon. It's called Jesus Rides a Harley. I love the title of that. I got to see it just for the title.
Oh, that's great. That's done by Michael Dawson, who's really a wonderful person, a wonderful filmmaker. I've been in 3 of his films. This is the latest one. It's actually a scenario of a person claiming to be Jesus who rides a motorcycle around the neighborhood, and I play a homeless guy who seems to be enjoying hitting the bottle a lot, and it was a lot of fun to do.
You had an illustrious career as an attorney for many, many, many years, and then you kind of switched halfway through life and said, I'm going to go and be an actor. What advice would you give somebody listening that maybe right now they're doing something else? Maybe they're a real estate agent, or maybe they're, doing something as far as a different career, but they've always wanted to be an actor or an actress. What advice would you give them in making that transition?
I would say it depends where you're living. If you're living in the Midwest, you have a lot of opportunities there for community theater. There are universities there with film departments. You can try out for various films. You can also take acting lessons. I found it was much easier than I expected it to be. When I first came to Los Angeles 4 years ago, I kind of wanted to do this, but didn't know exactly what to do. So I became an extra through central casting, and I put in a lot of interesting films and TV shows. Then my kids got me headshots. They paid for some headshots, and I started taking acting lessons and on some websites. There are various websites that are especially for actors, and you can live anywhere in the country and subscribe to them. So you set up a profile, then you get notices of when there's going to be an audition set up for people with your profile. And you just have to do it and enjoy it.
That's
if you
really
don't enjoy
cool.
it, no use doing it. You should go back into something else.
Absolutely. You got to have fun doing whatever you do. And I can tell by just visiting with you and also some of the films that you've been in that you enjoy what you're doing. And I can tell also that you're a very good actor because I've seen some of the characters you play. I got to tell you, Sam, I don't think I would like those people in real life, but there's others where I go, man, that's the kind of guy that you want to sit down and have a drink with. So you've got a lot of range to go from being, like I'm reading in one here, you're a doctor, and like we said, you're also the president of the United States. But there's another one was called Pervy Old Guy. I'm like, wow, what a great title for you, Pervy Old Guy.
Yeah, I played the Pervy Old Guy as the main actor in the film had some issues of objectifying women, and he said, I don't want to grow up and end up like that guy, and I'm sitting there on the street with a very inappropriate look on my face as ladies walk by.
Well, I really appreciate taking some time to visit with us here, and as some of these other projects get finished, we'll need to chat about those, and I'd look forward to visiting with you again in the future.
I'm looking forward to it too, John, and it's really great talking to you.
Thank you again, sir. It's always a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about some of these other projects.
Oh, great. I've been looking forward to it too, John, and have a great day.
Again, Samuel Whitehill has been our guest today, and I've got a link in our show notes to the projects that we talked about today and also to his IMDb so you can learn more about him. All of that is in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Ravens can learn to speak better than parrots can.
Really?
Yeah, it says parrots have a reputation as the most talkative birds in the animal kingdom. But ravens can hold their own in a debate any day. I don't know that there's ever been a parrot and raven debate, but if there has been, ravens could do well. In captivity, animals can be trained to mimic human speech. Ravens can, saying words like hello and hi, and even coughing like a person. However, it's not clear if they can be taught to say nevermore.
That's what I was just going to say.
That's what you
I was
wanted.
just going to say, nevermore.
Did you know that Poe actually wanted the raven to be a parrot? in the original book, he originally had written it for a parrot rather than the raven, but he thought the raven is a little gloomier.
It's a little darker.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
And to teach a parrot to say nevermore, you can do that. But
It
anybody
sucks
scared by
that
that?
you beat me to it. I was just going to say nevermore.
There you go. Thanks for listening to this fun fact on the John and Heidi Show.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. It's Nelophobia. 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 What do you think nelophobia is? I'd never guess this.
I
Nelophobia.
honestly couldn't tell you.
Fear of glass. Huh?
Oh.
What? Fear of glass?
Okay.
Boy.
I don't
imagine
understand
having-
where these root words are coming from.
Here's
I need
the
to
thing.
learn some more languages.
I don't know where
apparently.
fear of glass would come from. That'd be a tough thing to be afraid of. It's all around you.
A
Yeah,
lot of these things are tough to
They
be
are.
afraid
That's
of.
today's fun with phobias.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. The Louisiana State Police on Monday revealed an extraordinary security breach at the governor's mansion, saying that they had arrested a man who was in the building and damaged the property and then fell asleep on a sofa. What? What are you talking about? I believe this happened last week. 34-year-old Raynard Green of Baton Rouge was booked on counts of simple burglary, criminal trespass, and criminal damage to property. It was not immediately clear if he had an attorney or not, but according to the records here, he was found sleeping on the sofa. He had broken an antique wooden table, and the booking records says that he was in a governmental building. Booking records show that he was found asleep at 6 a.m. They placed his legs in shackles, and he became extremely violent. So he assaulted a couple law enforcement officers before being taken to the headquarters. Not exactly sure what happened there, but it certainly fits in the category of weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A Florida man learned the hard way that just because you want to be a cop doesn't mean you can just pretend to be one. This guy, I don't understand that, by the way. That doesn't make sense to me. There was a movie called Let's Be Cops, and they pretend to be cops. That doesn't make sense. Just be a cop. Go get a job and do that. That doesn't make any sense to pretend. Matthew Joseph Aris, again, he's a Florida man. He was arrested for impersonating an officer. How did he get caught, you might ask? Oh, you might ask that.
How did he get caught?
Hey, thank you for asking that. Well, he turned on his flashing lights and pulled over an SUV.
Oh, my gosh.
Guess who was in there? A
cop?
real cop. Yeah, an undercover detective. Knowing the traffic stop was odd,
gosh.
the detective dialed 911, and actual deputies showed up and took this gentleman into custody. They found a very realistic-looking air pistol in his SUV. He had law enforcement light bars installed on his vehicle.
Wow.
He was arrested and released on a bond while officials attempted to determine if he had committed similar moves with non-cops before. Because they're like,
Big mistake.
What was he doing? So I just don't understand what the plan would have been.
Oh,
but
goodness.
They should have let him get all the way through the whole traffic stop to figure out what's his motive. I mean, I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's today's Moment of Duh.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? Scarf, chow, and munch. What do they all have in common? Scarf,
To eat.
chow, and munch. Yeah, slang terms for eating. Is it? I didn't think it was scarf down. I thought it was snarf.
I've heard scarf down.
Have you heard scarf?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to scarf down a pizza. I always thought it was snarf. S-N-A-R-F.
I've heard it both ways.
I'm going to snarf down a pizza.
I've heard it both ways.
Okay. I've heard of chow. I'm going to chow that. That sounds
Yeah.
good. And munch. Yeah, that's good. All right. Slang terms for eating. That's these 3 things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. And actually, this is kind of a funny story. A parrot named Freddy Krueger is alive and well after a 4-year nightmare. So this for those of you who don't know who Freddy Krueger is, I want to make sure I explain. He was in the Nightmare on Elm Street
Who doesn't
movies.
know who Freddy Krueger is?
I don't know. There may be some.
Everybody knows
You know
who
what?
Freddy Krueger is.
I'll bet there's somebody listening that's going, who is that? I've never heard of that person
I don't
before.
think so.
Okay. If that's you, please let me know. Well, a parrot by the name of Freddy Krueger found his way back to the zoo after thieves literally abducted him 4 years ago. Freddy and another parrot were stolen from a zoo in Brazil. According to the newspaper, his capture was the latest in a series of misadventures for the turquoise-fronted Amazon parrot.
Even people in Brazil know who Freddy Krueger is. They named their parrot Freddy
That's
Krueger.
probably just a coincidence. 4 years ago, Freddy was brought to the zoo.
He was the zoo curator. It was just named after him.
According to this, 4 years ago, he was brought to the zoo after being injured in a shootout between police and gangsters.
Jeepers.
He was involved in a shootout?
poor
This
bird.
bird has had a rough life. It was during a drug raid, a raid on a drug den where Freddy used to live. In the shootout,
He's had a heck of a life.
in the shootout, Freddy was hit in the upper beak, and he was blinded and suffered burns to his feathers.
Oh, that's why they called him Freddy.
Yeah.
He's burned.
So earlier this month, he was bitten on the leg. I hate to say that. He was bitten on the leg by a snake. It was not venomous. He bled profusely, but survived. Days later, he was kidnapped by 3 armed robbers.
There should be a movie about this bird's life.
And his name is Lucky. No. To the surprise of the zookeepers, he returned a few days later and was found at the bottom of the trees near his cage. It's unknown how he escaped. Drops of blood found near his former abode have people speculating that the parrot might have bitten his way out. So he's a bit of a wild one. He has led quite the life, this Freddy bird. I've got a link to that very amazing story if you'd like to see it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. That was quite a story, and I just want to make sure everybody understands. We were not laughing because of all the terrible things that happened.
Oh, yeah. So save your hate mail.
I just want to make sure somebody can say it was really mean of you to laugh about this parrot.
No, it was just
it's just amazing that all of this stuff happened to one bird.
coincidences.
So we love parrots. We love Freddy. I just want to make sure we cover that. So there you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.